Thank you for tuning in to episode 20 of Inside Zed Run. Today we have Bob of Awards Racing and MJ Stables and myself, Golden Globe Master. Doofy seems to be running a little late, so hopefully he gets in a little bit afterwards. And as of course, Bob, one of the, from what I understand, one of the top stables of the UK. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
And MJ, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm a bit sleepy. I had a long weekend. It was a
Yeah,
good weekend. But a long
I
weekend.
seen you were tweeting out and about, running around.
Yeah, I had family come to visit, so I was showing them around.
Kept you busy.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so, one of the first questions we normally ask Bob is, how did you get involved with Zed? What was your what brought you into Zed?
Yeah, I feel like most people tend to give you like, I came from Top Shop, and all that stuff. Mine was really random. Mine, it was start of the new year this year, and I googled crypto games because I was kind of interested in crypto, but I didn't really know an awful lot about it, and I wanted to get involved more. But I'm a gamer. I like gaming, so I thought there's got to be something out there that can kind of combine the two. So yeah, I randomly searched crypto games, and then I found a website. I've tried looking for it since, and I can't find it. But it had quite a long list of games that they were probably like 99% rubbish. But yeah, I saw one for Zed Run, and it kind of just stood out because it's obviously fairly self-explanatory. You know, it's horse racing, but in the digital world. And that was kind of it. I bought a horse from the marketplace for £60 as Z8. £60 would be like, I don't know, $85. And then a few days later, I bought a Z10 for £15, which would be about $20. And then, yeah, and they both turned out to be like between 8 and 12 to 15% win rate. And from that point, I was just hooked. Being able to
How long?
make money
If
from
you don't,
it. Yeah, go on.
if you don't mind an interruption, how long ago was that?
So I think I got the first horse, Tenacity, probably like 3 weeks into January. So January about 20th, maybe.
Those prices, $85 and $20.
Yeah, looking back, yeah, I got a lot of regrets. Yeah, I should have been buying Z1s, but so the second I spent £60 buying Tenacity, I turned to my fiance, and I was just like, "I've just bought this for 60 quid," and she was quids, pounds. Yeah, I turned to her and said, "Yeah, I've just bought this for 60 quid," and she's just like, "You've spent £60 on a photo of a horse." I was like, "No, it's more than that," but anyway, yeah, that was kind of it. Yeah, I was hooked. And here we are.
That's great. That is such a great turnaround. Do you still have that horse?
Yeah, I can't sell them. Yeah, still got them. Stay in the stable. Still racing as well.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Yes, still racing, still profitable. I think. I hope. Tenacity is. The other one's called Mysterious Assassin. It's a cool name, so I just kind of kept it. I think it's like 8%. It's not as good, but yeah, cool story.
It's a great story, actually, to still be able to run it.
I would go back to your. Oh, go ahead, Golden.
No, go ahead.
I would go back to like your origin. Like, if you remember a little bit about like what you said, kind of Zed stood out to you compared to some of the other games you're reading about. What about Zed was like that like aha moment? Because Zed, I feel like offers a lot, or like there's a lot going on with it. When I first saw it, I was like, no, that's too good to be true. That can't be a thing. Like, I skipped over Zed for like months because of it.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I said, it was just it's basically just a carbon copy of the real life, right? I felt like as much as I needed to learn about the different breed types and things like that, looking at it from a very simple perspective, it's a really simple game, and obviously it's got the analytical side, and you know this more than most. You've got all that, like a plethora of information at your hands, but at its core, it's a simple game. It's horse racing, and you don't need to be a genius to, kind of, if you've got any kind of interest in horse racing, and then it's transferable to Zed, I think, and that kind of just hooked me in.
I like it. So there's Tenacity and the Assassin. I forgot the rest of the name.
Mysterious Assassin.
Mysterious Assassin. What a name. It's so mysterious, I forgot.
I know.
Are those by far your favorite horses? Are there any horses in your stable that really stick out?
My favorite is 100% Bubs Gold. But outside of Bubs, yeah, I would rank in my stable. I would say Bubs Gold, Tenacity, and then probably Mysterious Assassin third.
Where I was just kind of looking over your stable. Where did the Bubs name come from? Because I know you have a lot of horses in there with Bubs in it.
Yeah, so I got no idea what Bubs is, but so I actually got Bubs from Bob the Nailer.
Oh wow!
Yeah, a long time ago. It was unraced. I ended up buying two from Bob, two Z4s, Bubs Gold, and another one called Q West. And yeah, I bought Bubs. Both were unraced, and from the get-go, like obviously this is when odds were a thing. Bubs was getting odds of like 6. I think she started in class 3 or 4, 3, and then yeah, she was getting odds of like 6. And I remember just being like, okay, I haven't got a horse that's ever pulled odds of 6, and this is like when Genesis was ruling the field, and maybe like the odd legendary as well. But yeah, and she just completely tore up the track, and been in love with her since. But yeah, I'm just keeping the Bubs name going. Really, I don't know.
I like it.
What Bubs Gold means or is, but
it's fun. I'm got the list up over here. I see you got Bubs Ivy, Royal Bubs. Like, it's fun. It's like a fun little signature, I feel like, for your stable now.
Yeah, I feel like me and Joe do it. Joe's got Joe from Zombie Boy, Zombie Racing. He's got Big and Tall as well, which is a great breeder, and we kind of just both, any horse that we breed with, say for Bubs, you just kind of, it's a nice little throwback, like homage to Bubs, I guess.
I love it. So are we gonna have a big Bubs and a tall Bubs anytime soon?
There's a little Bubs.
No way.
Yeah, hopefully there will be a. I mean, me and Joe have spoke about this. It'd be good to get a big and tall Bubs kind of hybrid, but they're both female, so.
Oh, never mind. That's not gonna work.
We'll have to do some magic.
I'll figure something out with that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, just looking over your stable, I thought that was like a standout to me. That I thought was really interesting.
So, I've also got another stable.
Okay.
That 50% owned with a friend. I don't know if it's the easiest way for me to send it, but if you search, I think ASR Racing, you'll see another stable.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I own that 50%, and then I think
you got it up, MJ. You can share the screen if you want. I'll put it up.
Sure.
That's probably got better horses in, but I kind of let my friend run that one a bit more. But they've probably got much better horses in my opinion.
Interesting. Do you have any favorites in here? I guess I was kind of wanted to segue into, like, how do you do stable management? How do you do the 50% ownership? What does that look like?
So we're best friends in real life. So it's very simple, very easy. If he steals my money, I know where he lives. But no, yeah, it's complete trust. Sadly, there's no mechanic in the game as of yet where you can safely do it. Hopefully it's coming, but in terms of stable management, yeah, basically I've just said to him, I kind of introduced him to Zed. Aurora Star was our first ever purchase in that stable. Wow. It's probably my favorite in that stable. But yeah, I just taught him how to analyze the data and said, here's the reins, give it a go.
That's
So there's
pretty
nothing
exciting.
too
I mean,
complicated.
you got some really low Z numbers. You've got Nox, Zabos, Finnies. This looks like a pretty quality.
Very good stable.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot of
we
Genesis
breed.
horses in there.
There's so if you can search for it, there's another one, Award Star Ranch, where so that's got all the males in, and then this one's this one's got all the females in.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay.
So are you doing that for like breeding purposes, like breeding management to cut down on fees?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It just keeps it cheaper, especially at the minute, because breeding is a killer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Always
Yeah,
Lucky's
absolutely.
by far the probably best in that stable. I think that's Z4.
Okay.
It's a nice horse. 344 races, 15% winner.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
33%.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Oh, and you've got a Z4 knock, golden rare coat, super coat.
Yeah, we like the gold and rare, so we try and breed as many as possible.
I love it. I love it. Very cool. Like this is so like how.
Oof. Look at that. Okay. I was looking at one night only, right where you were at. Like, okay.
Oh, dang. Yeah, 6 races showing some early promise for sure.
I've got a question for you guys. Can you click on Thorny Rose? This is going a bit off
Yeah.
script, but
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Thorny
Oh,
Rose,
sorry.
it
Let
ran.
me just switch the share. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's cool. So Thorny Rose ran one race, pulled odds of 3, but it's in a bit of a weaker field. It was when, well, it's fairly recent. It's one of those horses where I'm like, oh, I want to run it so bad because I am awful at, like, if I've got a horse, I can't leave it unraced.
3 odds. All I would do is look at the field.
Yeah.
And then see what the field ran. And that's at the 1600. So that's woof. That's one of those races where you don't know.
It's teasing. Yeah.
It is, and it's pushed out a bunch of horses into 45. I mean, there's Z20, Z19. You even got a Z268 in here, but somehow that pulled 18 odds instead of 45. Yeah, if you look lifetime,
It makes me wonder, do I race it, do I not?
man, that's tempting. That's tempting. Let me see. Oh, I'm off on the other tab.
Yeah,
but
it
yeah.
is.
Yeah, I think that's very tempting.
I might. I might have to dig in a little bit deeper on that. I would just rip the Band-Aid off. I could not wait. I have no
it's
patience for
killer.
that.
It is killer.
I don't know how he did it.
So it's basically, my friend's a lot more conservative. So I want to race it always, and he's more of the no. Let's analyze the field more and think about it. And he basically just tries to stall me, so I forget about this horse. Yeah, it's too tempting. I definitely want.
Well, unfortunately with the market right now, that it's not going to sell for 3.5.
Hell no. But it's priced at that mostly because like if somebody wants to pay it, be my guest. But
Yeah.
I don't want that to go at the minute. I wanna race it, but yeah.
Have both? Do you own both the mother and the father?
No.
Oh.
No, we.
Somebody said feed her.
Yeah, should we give you a little boost?
Oh yeah, that's better. There we go.
Happily given fast food, not fast food as in burgers and fries. Fast food as in food to make her run fast. Let's go. I think
need
that's
that.
a sign. You got to do
I
it.
think it is.
Yes.
Gotta do it. All right, I'm gonna clip that and send it to her.
So yeah, no. Because what I would suggest is then look at the siblings as well. That's another
good
avenue.
shout.
That's not always it's not always something that tells you that this is going to be a good racer, but a lot of times if the sibling, like if it has identical mothers and fathers, you can get a bearing on if it's going to be good or bad.
Yeah.
Right now, it's probably in class 3 or class 2. I think it's in class 2. How many points does it have? You can slide back up.
61.
61. That's class 2.
2, yeah. Just barely.
Barely in class 2. So, I don't know. You could race it in class 2. Try not to get those 20 points.
Or save her for the tournament. Just unleash her on the tournament.
Yes.
There you go. Take Zed by storm. Crush the tournament. And we'll have just... They'll make movies about this horse.
Yes. Thorny Rose.
Thorny Rose. Done.
I think he's resetting his camera because it froze on him.
Not a problem at all. What would you do, Golden Glow? Would you race this horse? Yes.
I come from, hopefully Doopy gets here later, but Doopy always stressed, race your horse. Yeah. Just race it. And so I'd race it. That's just what I would do. And while we're waiting for Bob's camera to come back online, I'm just going to say, Hank is Fred. You're saying the terrible handling of the Netflix race today? Well, unless you own the horse that won the race or got second or third, you just don't care. As far as for us as being fans, they didn't give an announcement or indication what time the race was going to start. And I can't say that it's good or bad, because how many people would have been jockeying to try to get into that race? So I don't know. It's a little up in the air. I'm indifferent. What about you, MJ?
I don't like it at all. Okay. I think it's a big miss. It could have been a great opportunity for promo for both Netflix and for Zed. Mm-hmm. And they just, why wouldn't you let your community know? There are advertising dollars on the line. Mm-hmm. Whether Zed fronted this or Netflix paid for it, I don't know. That's not totally clear how that was handled. But if I'm Netflix, I'm not too happy about this, because this was supposed to be some big storied event from the best racers, and no, it was just a large pot, open entry, unannounced. It felt like it was almost under the table.
Yeah.
And it just if you're basically doing a marketing launch and you don't tell anyone about the product, and you don't hype up the movie, you don't have any connection, it's just here's a race and we're done, and you don't even tell people about that race, I just think it was poorly executed.
The story of that. What's new?
Yeah, but Bob, do you have any thoughts on the Netflix?
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah,
but there's not many that are positive.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a weird one. There's got to be a reason why they didn't do it. Why they didn't advertise it more, push it out there more. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why do the sponsorship and then almost fail to deliver?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
So circling back to you and your stable.
Yes.
Do you have any with your technically 3, we'll call it, stables? I know some of those are 50% owned. Mm-hmm. How do you approach or look at race management with that, as far as horse selection, getting into races? Do you just race a few every few weeks? How do you go through? Because you had some pretty decent horses there, and I feel like the problem of too much choice can be a hard thing sometimes.
Yeah. I definitely haven't got anywhere near as many as Zombie. That's a whole different thing. When you've got 300 horses, same with LJ. I have no idea how those guys do it. It's fairly simple for us. We know our best races. We know their best distances. We're not as bothered as some stables. Some stables obviously look at the competition in it and deep dive into that a lot heavier than we do. I'd say we race fairly often, so I know what horses can beat other horses. Especially at the minute, it's a fairly common field. You'll see the same horses pop up really often. So at the minute, it's fairly straightforward, I would say. There's not a lot of research going on, especially with Bobs. Bobs can race from 1,000 to 2,200, and normally pull odds of like sub 10. So that I don't really care. As there's a couple of horses I like to try and avoid. I'm not going to say any, but there's only about 3, I think. But yeah, in general, we're fairly lax. I'm not as fine-tuned as some when it comes to racing.
As aggressive as a racer, I guess.
Yeah, I don't care really. I'm here to race. I'm here to have fun with it. So I don't try and get too caught up. I do when I'm purchasing a horse. Obviously, it's a different kettle of fish. But as long as I've got enough money in the pot, I'm happy just kind of having fun. It's when I get down to the sub 100 where you really start being smart with your money. And so yeah, I say there's a time and a place for us.
What do you look for when you buy horses? What do you look for, and what qualities do you look for then?
I'm a sucker for odds still. Obviously, odds are so powerful. We all know they were. Odds, and for me, I like to look at fee. So the average fee of each race. I think that's because nobody really wants to buy a horse that can win $2.50 races if you're looking for like a real stud. So yeah, those two are probably my 2 biggest areas where I tend to look at.
Interesting. So like when you're looking at odds, I'm seeing like when you look at odds horses on Haku, you're not necessarily going to see a lot of odds races on those horses. So you're oftentimes going off of like 1, 3, 5 races. I feel like that terrifies me. I've tried to look at odds too, and I get so excited, and then like no, like I freak out and back off. So you're all in. You pull the plug. Pull the trigger.
Yeah, fairly aggressive sometimes, but
I like it.
You've got to analyze the field. Like I'd say, we're trying to we do try and be sensible, but you know, there's a balance. I always look at the. I think with anything that hasn't got odds, you've just got to look at the field, analyze the field of that race, see who it's beat, if it can do it consistently, those kind of things, really.
That's it.
What about you guys?
Strategy.
Everyone's got like a different approach, I feel like, depending on how aggressive you are, how passive you are, and
Well, analyzing horses, I've been helping people buy horses just in DMs and stuff for the last couple of weeks, and it really depends on the budget. That, like, I'm not currently in the market to buy any horses, but it would just be my budget would be the first thing, and then just overall, if I can find a horse with odds, then I'll look for something with 12 or under, because I always feel like if you can pull 12 or under odds, you got a shot to win any race. A prime example for me was Centrabos when he streamed when he won his $500 race with Charlie Chevelle. He got 12 odds, 12.8 in the Class 1 and won a $500 race. And so my philosophy has always been if I could average 12 and under and try not to go over, then I have a horse that could win at wherever I'm racing at, like Class 4, Class 3, Class 2, Class 5, or whatever. Now with the point changes, it'll probably change. And now if I'm looking at a horse that doesn't have odds, then I basically pull up MJ's tool, shameless plug for MJ Informatics. I pull up MJ's tool
100%.
And I look up where the arrows point at, and then I look to see the winning percentage. I need something over a 12% win rate, and I don't care if it's in $2.50, $5 or whatever. I just need something over a 12% win rate, and then I could just strategically race the horse from there.
What about you, MJ?
I've I guess gone through like a few different strategies. One of the more recent ones that I've done is I would look at, so I would use like my state of Zed, and shameless plug for myself, and I'd look at like what is the fire percent for horses that come in first, and then I would apply that to a filter on Haku, along with a win rate of at least 12%, minimum 3 races, but lightly raced, and try and find a value buy in there. So like that, for example, is how I got Murder Weapon. And ended up being a decent horse. It's not going to be like a class 3 or 2, $10 winner, but before all the craziness could probably race $5 class 4. And I got it for like 0.16, so it wasn't horrible. So I've been having a lot of fun with Murder Weapon, and yeah, just kind of using that.
That's cool.
Oh, I think we lost him again.
Lost him temporarily. He had the link. He should be back.
Cool.
That's a great way to go about looking at it, though. I didn't even think to check the fire rate. I only really just checked the win percentage.
Yeah, and then like if I don't see anything that I like, or like I feel the prices are too high, and I guess I'll also kind of balance that now with breeding, because that was about the time that like breeding started to get a little crazy, where I would look at, okay, hey, my breeding fee is going to be, this for what I'm trying to accomplish or what I'm trying to achieve. Here's something that's slightly proven for a slight premium above the breeding fee I'm willing to pay. And so like when I just kind of like put all that together, it just kind of made sense for me.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
It's okay.
Yeah, he's still doing pretty well. 50 races, 24% win, 42% show, 76% fire.
Hey, can't beat it.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with him. 140% ROI. Sheesh. I didn't realize it was that high. I gotta look at that horse again. I haven't raced him in a while.
How much do you guys look into ROI?
See, I don't look into ROI that much anymore. As far as if I'm going to buy a horse, it's just about the winning percentage. And the whole reason why is because people could be throwing their horses in races they have no business throwing them in as well. Like if somebody wants to run in a race that has like Princess of Power and like a $50 race or something, that's going to really turn down your ROI if you have like a $5 or a $10 or a $2.50 runner. And right now, $2.50 are as competitive as $10 races were 3 months ago. So,
Yeah, it's tough out there, right?
Oh,
yeah.
It's a pain. I don't really look at ROI too much because, again, I look for like lightly raced, and a lot of times I'll try and see like, okay, they ran 3 races at marathon distance, and then 4 races at sprint. They were all 250. Maybe there was a 5 in there. I really look at ROI from like a mismanagement standpoint. Like, hey, you put this horse, you won your Griffin, and then you went straight into a $10 race. Like, okay, like that's gonna throw things off a little bit for you.
Yeah, I'll just say that the only thing ROI shows to me is how good someone is at managing their horse, really.
Yeah.
But nothing more than that. I'd say it's pretty much useless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have though.
Yeah. Well, if it's your horse, then it's not useless. Because you can know when to just give up on them.
But yeah, no, like to your point though, Bob. Like it's not. It's I think that was very well said when it's like it's a way of like how the horse has been managed or run. I think that's a really smart way of looking at it.
Yes.
That's how I see it. Touching kind of on that, how do you guys feel about the new updated horse like profile page?
Those look great. They're still not as good as zombies, but they look great.
They look good, I think. Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'd still like to see way more like data and information on it, especially like financials. But I know it wouldn't really be a smart decision showing your profit and loss from Zed's perspective, because most people is going to be pretty red. But I'd love to see like I know it's on Know Your Horses, but I'd kind of like to see like a overview of the stable and how you've performed over like the previous months and things like that. But a boy can dream.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately, actually. When I stream in the mornings for the Aussies, I do. Well, it's night for them, but super early in the morning for us. they showed me, hey, look at the profit and loss of the stable, and I was like, whoa. We're looking at like arbitrage and Ganapti, who's Ganapti's approaching like 8 ETH, all on $2.50 and $5 races, and arbitrage is over like 20 ETH or 40 ETH or something like that. So it's you can look in the stables on Know Your Horse, which I hope they don't ever take away, because it's also it's maybe somewhere to set a goal at if you study other stables. Because as the game expands, you're going to have people studying like what you're doing down there, or what MJ's doing, or what I'm doing in the future.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I like the UI. I think some things could be improved, but it's a pretty cool feature to have
Yes.
natively.
Yeah.
It's a start.
Like
it's a step.
Yeah, it's a start, right? You can't ask for too much out of Zed at the minute.
Yeah.
Baby steps. We'll get there.
What So we talked a good amount about racing. What are your thoughts on breeding?
At the minute, it's just too expensive. I'm still breeding cheap Genesis horses like Z20s just to sell, but it's not much profit in it. But I always say, if there's profit, profit's profit. It doesn't really matter how small it is. If you can reinvest it into buying bigger and better horses, so be it. But as a whole, breeding at the minute is broke, and I think they know that. Hopefully, they can resolve it by the end of the month. Would be nice. They've just got to lower the breeding the minimum breeds. It's just extortionate.
Yeah, I personally, I know I might get a lot of flack, and I don't even care. But I don't think it should cost more than maybe $300 to breed two Z1 Nakamotos, and then you scale it down from there. That's just my opinion, because I don't know what that is in UK. How many pounds 300 US would be, but that's
250-ish.
Yeah, 250 pounds to $300 to whatever it is in 700. It's 700 today. And so I think you could cut that in half and make that, and then scale everything down from there along the bloodlines and blood types and all that to get to like maybe $80 or something.
Yeah, it's way too expensive at the minute. Like, I'm even considering like breeding bubs with like buterins, just because it's the only thing that seems like making. Well, it's cheap. It's just too expensive. Like, I've got a fair few horses, but I'm by no means a big stable. I'm not working on a huge budget, so I've got to really try and pick where I spend my money and race. Yeah, I can't be affording $700 to breed knackers, really.
Yeah, it's pricey for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What so when I guess breeding wasn't as crazy as far as prices go, like, did you have like a strategy? Was there like a certain methodology that you went after? Or just be like, hey, I've got these two horses, they're ready to breed, let's do this.
Yeah, kind of. I've always thought breeding was random, to a degree. I never really had considered the base ability theory, but having looked into that more, I would say I kind of thought along the same lines, always. So I was always like, this is random. I'm not going to put too much thought into it. It's a numbers game. I'm going to breed as regularly as possible, and hopefully one turns out to be good. So far, I've had a couple, but nothing special.
So you don't have any. You just completely just smash whatever together and hope it.
I always go off like win rate, but I think there's nothing in it. I really don't. Well, there's something in it, obviously. But yeah, no, I don't think there's like the XYZ kind of theory. There's obviously that element of randomness to it, and I feel like that overpowers anything else I'm going to do on my end. I feel like it's a flip of a coin kind of thing, whether or not you're going to get a good horse. So as much as I do look at horses, I do look at their win rates and their offspring and see what kind of stuff they've done. Deep down, I always think just it's random. So let's just see what happens.
Find some value and go for it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I do like to keep the Z number low though. That is one thing I like to try and do.
So what's kind of your threshold, or what do you try and target or go after?
So Bubs is probably the one I bred the most. I don't go above a Z4 for her. Normally I wouldn't go above a Finney if it's a good horse for me, unless it's a Buterin, in which case I'll breed it with other Buttes.
Okay. So you don't mix the bloodline with Butte? You don't like breed Zabos into them, or?
I'd love to. It's just currently it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not worth it. I'd love to put Naka blood into Tenacity to see what comes out of it, but
if you have Naka females and breed them to Buterin males, then it's cheaper.
Yeah, true. But it's not too bad when you do it in stable either. It's just I don't know. It's just a lot of money. Like when you got a fair number of horses to be breeding, it just feels like damn, this is like. So I try and race as much as I can throughout the day, and I try and earn between like around 0.1 ETH a month. Nothing crazy, but I try and just chip away. But then second breeding comes, like I've got a nice part, and I'm like, all right, I'm doing pretty good. And then breeding comes around, and it's back to being empty again. It's like, great, this is fun.
The cycle continues.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah, have you sold many horses? You said you've bred some Buterins together to sell, but like, have you sold any, like, not with the initial intention of like I'm breeding this to sell, but like it just kind of came about like, hey, I want to sell this because there's value. I want to sell it because I need the ETH. Or do you hold on?
Not that I can think, like nothing that springs to mind. I tend to hold on. Bubs' line I try and keep hold of. Tenacity I do stud. I don't try and keep hold of that. But in terms of selling horses, I don't think. Hang on. Early on, I'd say about April time, when the drops were happening, I was selling quite a lot of horses, just because they were so cheap. I was selling quite a lot then. I sold like a number of Z5s, Z6s, and loads of Buttes. But since then, I'd say like the last 2-3 months, I haven't sold diddly squat. Sold nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that because of the market or because of you?
A bit of both, I think.
Okay.
I think the market obviously doesn't help.
Yeah, not at all.
At all.
I would like to restructure my stable award racing, like my personal one. I would like to restructure that to be more Finney heavy, and just keep hold of my good Buttes. I've just realised I've got another stable with some fillies in, but they're all rubbish. So I'd like to basically sell off all of them and buy some good Finneys, but yeah, the market's not too enticing right now. So
it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's tough because obviously I could sell them and I'd still probably make a profit on the horses. It's just it just feels like I'm, it just feels dirty selling like a Genesis Z10 or Z8 or Z9 for peanuts. It just yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah. Trust me, I understand. I got like a couple Z8s, and I got 2 Z8s, a Z11, and I bought them for like 0.2 something, and I couldn't sell them for anything less than that.
Yeah. Like it's crazy with those Buttes that I breed. As I type into into Coinbase, it's just like 0.00. It just feels like the noughts just keep on growing. So come on,
Yeah.
somebody's got to start buying these horses.
I feel like we're gonna get a whale that's just gonna come in and new to Zed and just sweep the floor, or there's gonna be like some big marketing campaign and then just like a mad dash.
I think
And
it'll
then
come.
all of a sudden wake up.
I genuinely do.
I kind of wish they would expand it to 10 classes and then shut breeding down for 2 months.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
I don't think anybody in the community would mind it because it'd turn back into a mad dash to try to buy horses again.
I mean, the last time breeding was down, the market was doing pretty good. So
Yeah, because you're cutting off that supply.
yeah.
but then it's unfair for the new people joining, and I've always been more about getting more newcomers on board. But I wouldn't mind a little bit of profit, it'll
Right?
be nice. Yeah. It'll come though, guys. It'll come.
So speaking of that, but when it comes,
Yep.
what do you want to see out of the future of Zed, whether it's something that's announced or not?
Oh, that's a tricky one. What would I like to see from Zed in terms of the way they run Zed, or more product based, like something that I want to see in the game?
All of the above.
All of the above. All right.
What comes to mind?
Well, to start off with, the first thing I want to see from Zed, currently and moving forward, communication. Still, it feels like we've been saying this for quite a while, but yeah, still communication. They have got better. The Discord's a bit of a healthier place at times. But yeah, it's just going back to this Netflix race. I was so excited when they put out like the article. I was like, okay, we're going to get a big race. This is something, again, like we're starting to get tournaments now. Now we're getting big sponsored races. This is wicked. And then it's just like, it just falls flat, and it just kind of takes all the hype and buzz out of the community. And it's just like, okay. I've been through this about 10 times with Zed, and I'll swallow it again and pretend like nothing's happened, I guess. And we move forward. But yeah, it does get a bit annoying. But communication. What would I like to see from like product base? I don't really know. Golden Glow, you said classes. We've got to have more classes. Broaden out just make racing more fun for more people. I think it's fine. For me, at the minute, I'm still making money. I like Bubs is racing in Class 1 and dropping down into Class 2 and winning like the odd big race. And for me, racing is fine at the minute, but I know for 99% of people, probably it's rubbish. Especially newer stables. They just haven't got a chance. So yeah, I'd like to see more classes, more fun, and I'd like to see Zed just get more involved with the community. I think I'm not sure why they're not. Maybe it's, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But yeah, there's lots of things I'm excited for in the future. It's just who knows where they're going to take it.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I liked your word of flat. I feel like that's a word I haven't really thought of, but it's so simple, but perfectly describes how I feel about things.
Yeah.
In a way, in some
Yeah.
aspects.
Go
ahead.
Because I feel like maybe, when was the tournament? 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks? I'd say like a month ago, Zed was probably for me at like a complete bottom. In terms of me being motivated to want to load up Zed and race and stuff. It just felt like the entire community was flat. And then the tournaments got announced and it started to, creep back up. Everyone was getting a bit more excited. You're starting to see people talk a bit more positively and things. And then the tournament went ahead. No problems. That's good. Straight after that, we've got this big race coming out. Amazing. But then today, it's just been like, what race?
Yeah.
And you can't forget the class point changes and the minimum maximum changes for entry fees. That also put it like that. A lot of people weren't anticipating that. I feel like they could have, going into the tournament, they could have at least warned people. Even though I think MJ and myself said they're probably going to stick a whole bunch of people's class horses up into Class 1. Like, I actually, kudos to myself, I actually think I called that one. It's like, yeah, horses are going to be stuck. And then they changed the point structure and the buy-in structure. So, like, $10 to get those horses at $10 per race, that it's not even guaranteed that you're going to get 12th place. Now it's only taking 2 points even if you do get 10th place or 12th or, what's it, 8th or 7th to 12th. It's only 2 points. Whew. That's a big change that I feel like they could have announced when they announced the tournament. This is what we're going to do, and gave people a chance, because your horse is going to go up regardless if it's in Class 5 and it's getting 6 points or whatever. But I know there's a lot of us who are degens in this community, and so a lot of us have been like, fuck it, I got to try and get this $300,000 prize pool. I got to try and get in there.
Yeah,
and so
it feels like they're kind of like taking the piss a bit by, because like you said, everyone's gone up in class, and and then it's just like they've dropped a bomb, and it's now like, about that, you're also now stuck there.
Yeah,
it's like, okay.
I feel like half of the people still would have went for it, but you didn't give them the option to at least know this is what's going to happen. Yeah. And if you got up in Class 1 and you won it, and you won one of those races, or got, I think, second or third in those races, then shoot, I think it was like $500 for third or something. So if you were a $2.50 racer or something like that, and you free raced your way into that tournament, you can't be that mad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the new class system.
Me neither.
Obviously, the timing could have been way better. I would like to see, I'd like to know your guys' thoughts. I don't mind 7th to 11th being negative 2 points, but I still think there should be like -4 for 12th. There's got to be a bit of a premium at either end, right?
I completely agree, 100%.
Because then, you're not going to down class as quick as you go up, but 4 and 2, it's a big difference. It takes so long to go down.
Yeah, you can keep the first, second, third is 3 different tiers, and then for down, even have 2 tiers. Doesn't have to have 3 to match, and doesn't have to perfectly match. But yeah, I think the biggest thing, in my opinion, too, is the timing of it all. Timing and accessibility. The point, again, you kind of made earlier, Bob, there are so many small, mid-sized stables or people trying to come in, and it's like, cool, I got my horse, now what do I do? Well, have fun in Class 4, or just sit there.
Especially because, we all remember when we started, we didn't really understand analyzing the different horses, and we didn't know what horse to avoid, and things like that. So these people are literally jumping in, no idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. They're just thinking, this will be fun, I can make a bit of money. And then, obviously, there's got to be some learning curve and stuff, and some punishment for being a complete degen. But, it's got to be a bit fair. There's got to be a maiden class, where it's been suggested by quite a few people where any horse that hasn't won stays in this class until it wins, and then it can move up. But I don't know. It's got to be something like that, I think.
Well, I've been a proponent for the longest time of 10 classes.
Yeah.
And the whole reason I'm a proponent of 10 classes is because a lot of these horses should, even in Class 5, let's just start at Class 5, a lot of these horses shouldn't even be in Class 5. And there were horses that were in Class 1. We can go back here. There's horses that were in Class 1 that were too good for Class 2, but not good enough for Class 1. And so the reason I say 10 classes is we've had these tweener horses that get stuck in a class that they shouldn't be in, but they're too good for the class that they're behind. But there's no way they can win a race in the class they're currently in. And so I always said it would be 10 classes. I do like the point structure, but I have a counter argument. First place is what, 6 points? Second place is 4 points, and third place is 2 points. Well, my counter argument would be 12th place would be 3 points, 11th place would be 2 points, and then 10th to 7th would be negative 1 point.
I like that.
And then maybe bring back the pity point, because I know people hate the pity point, but if you're going to have this many from what was it, 10th to 7th, a negative 1 point, then I would have to bring the pity point back to 4th place.
You're not going to be a popular man saying that.
Yeah, I understand that, but you know that 7th through 10, you're still going to lose a point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's kind of funny because everyone that I speak to has a different way of solving it.
Yes.
So I definitely have sympathy for Zed, because everyone obviously bashes them for the obvious. But then there are things like this where, like MJ, like you might, I don't know from like a data background more. Like, do you reckon they're testing these changes before they make them live? Because surely they have to, but it just feels like, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they do some level of testing. I'm almost positive of that.
Second, I'll be right back.
However, I think you can't really predict based off of like testing whether you're doing that, automatically or just like with internal staff, the nature of the ecosystem at scale. Like, I just feel like that's way too hard to do. So at some level they say, and I have no idea if this is how it's done, kind of my thought is, here's an idea. Okay, on paper this makes sense. In our internal testing this makes sense. Let's push this out, and then we are, in my view, we are like the real test, which I don't necessarily think is the right way of going about it at this stage when we are at this size.
Yep. I always say that. I always think, despite Zed being in beta, they've grown way too fast and way too big to be in beta, if that makes sense. I feel like doing the drops was massively negative for the growth of Zed. I feel like it's created so many issues that they're just not prepared for.
I think most of that has to do with the blockchain technology. Most of the other blockchain games are like a P2P system or a peer-to-peer system, like where it's just one person against another person, and then the blockchain, the transaction gets confirmed there. Where in Zed, it's a simulation first, and then it's 12 people on one contract. So a lot of the complexities there are there, and we know and understand they have all the attributes on the horses. They just have yet to turn them on, because they're trying to say provably fair, and so their problem is that they're trying to say provably fair. The only other way they could do that is to have us put a jockey on the horse and have us race them. But since they're not going to do that and allow it to just be a simulation, they have to. The reason we haven't got everything like the gate preference, hopefully that goes out the window. I'm ready to start a Twitter poll, and be like, Dad, do not put gate preference in this at all. Reality of the situation is it would be impossible. Say 8 people. There's one 1,000 meter race, and 8 people only got gate 8 as their gate preference. How hard is it going to be to get that race? And so, but we're going to have weather, which is cool. And I keep saying steeplechasing, but I don't know where I've seen or heard that before. But I heard that's coming as well. So you're turning on 2 different attributes. One would be strength to pull the cart. And then the other would be like, I said friction last time and I got clowned on in the chat, but traction. So to improve or make better how a horse would run in different conditions. And so before they can implement that, they have to make sure it's provably fair in the same way as everything running under perfect conditions. So those are the two problems. It's trying to stay provably fair because they want to get to the gambling, like in Las Vegas or Atlantic City, or I don't know where they gamble in the UK. Sorry, but
everywhere.
Oh, okay. Well, we're only legal in the U.S. and certain we only have.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy. Here, it's just you can go into any high street and like any gambling store on any high street, and the laws are the complete same.
MJ, when we going to the UK?
I'm down. Let's go, man.
It sounds great.
It's normally they're normally next door to a Wetherspoons, which is like the cheapest, dirtiest pub in the UK, but we also love it. But yeah, going back to it is. Yeah, you're not wrong. Going back to provably fair. To be provably fair, don't you have to post the contract or whatever it is, or the algo? Or
that's what odds were for.
Okay.
I don't remember. Flames are only a placeholder. Everybody's forgetting that. Everybody think it's something permanent, but when Flames came out, they said it's only a placeholder. It's a transition because odds gives people too much, and then it's something they got to have a replacement for odds in order to be legal in like a casino or something.
Yeah.
I remember that. I did forget that. Good point there, Golden. I'd almost want to see Zed, and I feel like in a way it's kind of going this way. And I haven't fully thought or fleshed this out, but I think it'd be a cool way to onboard to basically be create almost a separate branch of Zed.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, it's free races. You get to basically there's a lease pool of horses that aren't in the main ecosystem, and it's purely for testing. And it's, hey, lots of disclaimers, this matches the stable branch, hey, where this is going to be, your experience will be different if you do this. And if you're a paid player, you can go in there too, just to run around, have fun. And I think that would, or something similar to that, would really ease the transition, ease the backlash of the users. Because then they could, okay, here's what we're thinking of doing. Let's experience it. Let's use it. And you could have the horses stats overall. You could kind of see within a testing cycle or a season how it's performed and how it's performed in previous cycles or seasons to kind of see how things have changed over time. I think that could be interesting.
Quote in the chat. I guess Poker Online. I never played Poker Online, but it said it's free and then it transitions into cash.
Yeah, I think something like that could be interesting.
Yes.
Yeah,
well,
good just to onboard new users as well.
Exactly.
Yes. I'm gonna go back to when we interviewed Keith of when we interviewed Keith Crimson Racing, when he said a practice mode. And so we kind of sort of got it with the free racing. One of the proposals I put on the thing on the product portal was for them to add free racing, completely free, without going up or down on your without gaining or losing class points. It's completely free and something to aid in the discovery process, I guess.
Something I think to give him credit. I think Zook said there should be a trial period for certain horses that can get created. They make no profit. They're completely free to run in a training area or something, just so someone can come in, try for 5 days, and then they get a bit more of a understanding for the landscape, how the game works. I definitely think there's got to be some sort of, I don't know, easy and cheap way to onboard new people.
All right, really fast. I'm going to answer a question that Souls Vanish just put, or a statement. He said, classes don't work if you match up evenly match horses, who wins? We all just push money back and forth. Now, my response to that would be that yesterday you had high stakes stable duels. I know, Bob, you were watching. I don't know if you were watching, MJ, but they did high stakes stable duels, and they didn't all push money back and forth. And so they strategically raced their horses, and so that's what would happen is you would just strategically just race. There's enough horses on the platform to where you don't race all the same horses. A lot of times you do up in Class 1 because there's a lot of people who know they have no business racing there. But if you were to extend the classes to where it's a little bit, it's more and less at the same time, you wouldn't always be racing the same bunch of racers all the time because people have the confidence. Like I know, like if you have like Crimson Chin, he doesn't care who he's racing at 1,000 meters. He's jumping in the race. If it's low, if it's for the big money, And then I know Mula Mula doesn't race for a little bit of money. He races for the big stakes. So he's not always Remy's not always going to throw a Rendezvous Puignet. He's like, man, fuck that. I got like a 30% chance of winning that race. I'll wait for the next one, So
yeah,
it's not pushing the same money back and forth.
Yeah, I agree. Because I agree to some degree. If you've got a key, like a killer horse, like Crimson Chin, like for me, I've got Bubs. Bubs is the only horse that I can run, not care against who I'm racing against, and still make money. I don't really subscribe to the whole pushing money back and forth, trading it between stables. Definitely do make money on my best horses. It's the ones that aren't very good where you are literally just passing money back and forth, I think.
Yeah,
it's tough. Classes got to change.
Yeah, ultimately, classes. Do you reckon we're going to see a fix in the next 60 days, 2 months, or something?
I really hope so.
They did say that there's going to be a breeding change coming soon. So, and they're working on the ELO system as well. And
but they always do that thing where it's we've got all these amazing things coming, but no timeline. It's like I feel like everyone would be a lot happier if they could just say, like, same with the drop, how they've said Q1
2022.
It's still fairly vague. It's still like a few months period. Why can't they just say that for all of these plans? In my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the methodology a lot of other projects go by. Of like, yep, here's our timeline. Okay, and if it doesn't hit, that's going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
But then it comes down to communication. Here's why it didn't happen. Hey, we needed more bandwidth for X, Y, and Z instead. Or we rolled out this other change and we wanted to make it better, so we pushed this back to Q2.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
This goes on what you were saying earlier, like a PBT. I wouldn't care if they had a PBT server as well, like for testing, so that we know what's coming as well. But then that opens up a can of worms. Like I always say, the arbitrage guys, they're like geniuses to me as far as in the Zed platform and racing. And if we had a public test server, they would, as soon as whatever got released, they'd be ahead of the pack again, like usual. So, so I don't know, because it wouldn't be right to ban arbitrage because they'd probably just create a whole nother stable that they don't know and be like, hey, let me get in. And so, but there's more stables than arbitrage. He's just the face of like the best, great racing. That's all. But brain hiccup. Sorry. But yeah, there's a lot of things they can do, and I think communication would be a great one. Maybe just an AMA. I'm not that. I used to be very critical of Zed, and then I started discussing some things with some other people who work for AAA game companies, and they were telling me now doing about the same thing we are. Remember Soon trademark, Soon, and then the TM sign? That didn't start with Zed at all. That started that started a long time ago, I believe, with a MMO that I will not name right now because I don't want everybody knocking on my door. But yeah, it's hard.
We're all very passionate about Zed, and that
Yeah.
passion can swing both ways.
Mhm.
What do you have any like super passionate or emotional moments in your time with Zed, Bob?
For me, buying Bubs was like I struck gold. Especially for me, because I spent 2,000 on Bubs. What's that in dollars? Let me pull it up. Bubs cost me $2,600. Well, probably April. I can't even remember when I got it, but yeah, it was just when I got it, I was like, oh wow, okay, I've actually got a chance to compete at Class 1. And because when I started, Class 1 felt like the playground of like the best of the best, and you wanted to be in it, and it was cool to be in it, and well, not cool, but it was just where you wanted to be. And then quickly, with sandbagging and stuff, like I feel like a lot of the OGs and the older stables don't like sandbagging, and they never have, because we all kind of subscribe to like the ethos of you want to be in Class 1. It feels good to be in Class 1. It's where the best horses are, and you want to be branded in that kind of picture with the breathless edges and stuff. But yeah, sorry, I've gone way off tangent. Emotional moments. Yeah, just Bubs really. It's kind of sad. It's just one horse that I love. I won't ever shut up about. Even though
That's good though. I love that.
Yeah,
I love
That is
that.
good. That's really
someone's
good.
got a preacher corner.
Does he got a Twitter profile?
Yeah, I do for Bubs.
Loves the
Yeah,
sheep.
No way.
yeah, I do. Anyway, I've never really put anything out on it too much, but
That's great. Do you define yourself? This is another question. Do you define yourself more as a breeder or a racer, or a combination of both?
Interesting. Me personally, I'm a racer, 100%. Always have been from the day I started this. It was all about racing. And then when I started creating the other stable with my friend, it kind of shifted more towards breeding, which was killer. Because we've got some good horses in there, and it's just, for me, that's why I gave him the reins to manage, because I cannot race. Like I have to race a good horse, and it just. But to be profitable breeding, you obviously want to keep the win rate nice and high, keep it looking nice and pretty, and it's not something I'm good at. So yeah, I'd definitely say personally a racer, but a few months ago it's probably close to 50-50.
Okay.
Because like, as nice as it is pulling in like a nice wad of cash from the breeding profits, I've never seen my balance go up and have like that kind of emotional moment. Whereas winning like a race against like some great horses is always like, holy shit, this is awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say I'm always going to be aligned to racing.
Yeah.
It's what the game's about, right? It's called Zed Run, not Zed Breed.
I like that answer. I like that a lot. That's might have to clip that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a great comment right there.
What so Zed runner, do you have any superstitions tied to Zed or to races or to breeding? You mentioned kind of like you liked gold before. Was there a reason behind that, or is you just like the color? Like what do you got? I feel like you got something.
We just got lucky with the early drops, and we were just landing a lot of. Oh God, I've just had a complete brain fart as well. What's the coat color? Gold. goldenrod. So in the
Yeah.
joint stable, like the breeding stable, we like to focus on goldenrod just because we got a lot of goldenrod coats early on. It's not linked to Bub's Gold. That was just a complete random thing.
That's awesome.
But Superstitions, gate preference for me. I feel more confident when I'm in gates 10, 11, and 12.
Interesting. Okay.
If I have
like
to go in gates 2, 3, or 5, game over. It's bad luck. What about you guys? You guys got any?
I have, in a way, I have gate preference, but it's like I go by like feel of the horse. So like some will be like gate 10, some will be gate 4.
Yeah,
and
do you
just,
make like personalities up for your horses?
a little bit?
'Cause I
Yeah,
feel like
I feel
kinda
like I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, no, she definitely prefers gate 8. Yeah.
Yes. Like, oh, you like running in the middle of the pack. You like to, just kind of show off and like emerge. Some of you like to be closer, to the rail and just be like, in front of everyone watching from the side. I get it. I'm gonna let the horse be the horse.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good one. I don't have any superstitions anymore. I've been running a gate 8 lately, but I don't have any superstitions. I was running gate 12 because it was the easiest to get into. But now, no, I don't really have any superstitions anymore. Zed kind of beat all of the superstitions out of me. I made a couple of mistakes.
Do you guys cheer on your horses at all?
Yes.
Yeah. When I first started, I went into like full like race caller mode. Like I'd put on like a fake like voice, and I'd like kick the chair back, and I'd be like shouting at the screen. I'd really fucking go for it. And then now it's not as exciting. But when I'm racing like the bigger fee races, yeah, it's rude. Like you've got to like. I feel like it kind of pushes the horse on a little bit if you're giving it a little cheer or something. Yeah.
They implemented voice. It's got to be for a reason. I think the horses can hear that.
Maybe.
It's our portal into Novus Earth.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh man. One question that I have left. I don't know if MJ had any ones outside of this one. Is there anyone that you look up to in the Zed Run community? And you can't say zombie.
I don't look up to zombie.
Okay.
Early on, yeah. Now, okay, so early on was Poseidon was probably the first video that I watched on YouTube. He was wearing a wig, I think.
Not the first to say that.
So, so I was just like, okay, what is this? What's going on? And then I discovered Doofy. Doofy was a big one. And then Lucky Jack. Nice. Lucky Jack is probably the one I look up to the most now.
Me as well.
Yeah, he's just a legend. Like, he's such a nice guy.
Oh,
and he gives so much away. It's just like, he's doing well. Because
generous.
I'd love to be able to give all that away. But yeah, definitely Lucky Jack. LJ's a legend in my eyes.
Great guy.
Yeah. Well, most people know I've been like a Doofy fanboy forever. I was hoping he would have got here. Hopefully he's all right. Everything's going. But yes, I'd probably look up to Lucky Jack. My partner here, MJ and Sean Versall. Those are probably like the 3 people I look up to the most in the Zed Run community.
Yeah. Now it's just like all the streamers. I think all the streamers, got to give credit to every single one because they do so much for the community, and it's kind of probably what's kept me around in Zed for so long. I've never really considered leaving ever, to be honest, but it's kind of what pulls you back in, and it also ruins my sleep pattern. It's awful.
Yep. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
No, it's not aimed at you. Like I'm I'm always up either watching your guys, Naruto, Pony Plug, and Sean as well. Like, because you're all American, it's just like, all right, I'll just kind of live on American time now.
That's
We
kind of
appreciate
why I'm doing a 5:30 a.m. here, 5:30 p.m. here as well, which is like 8:30 in Australia, and then
That'll probably be about 10 morning time here.
yeah, and then 10, what would be 10 at night, I guess, because I do 5:30 at night and 5:30 in the morning.
Yep.
I basically have been plugging the shit out of MJ's tool and then Zed Run tools because I do horse evaluations, and so because nobody's streaming to times that are very more consumable for you guys in the UK or Southeast Asia or Australia.
Yep. It's tough.
Yeah.
MJ, I got a question for you. How long did it take for you to build your site up? Because your site's probably like the most in-depth data-wise, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that. So shorter than it probably should have, but also kind of long. So I'll go into that a bit. I originally started in Excel, and then
Right. Yeah. Same.
that was
A bit of a headache.
yeah, that gets to be a little painful. And then I upgraded to Google Data Studio on some of my early streams.
That's what. Yeah, we use that.
And
But again, it's still painful. But
yeah, still painful. And I was manually typing things out.
yeah, same.
And so now, like, I've leveraged basically just BI tools to build out the complex calculations. And I throw in my own kind of calculations, and here's what I want to see. Here's how we would kind of derive certain things. But it allows me to, like, just build and iterate very fast. So it saved me a ton of time to basically just plant that onto the site.
Okay.
So
How's it?
it's been a few months.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw your site, I was like, wow, okay. There's a lot to kind of digest here.
Yeah.
And even today, I'm still like, okay, so what does this mean? But
It might be changing soon.
You know,
right.
shout out to MJ real fast, but one of the ways I met him was I won a free horse evaluation from him because he was doing like when he first started, he'd give like 2 free horse evaluations out a month.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yo, he gave me. I was one of the very first. I think I was the first winner of his horse evaluations, and that's really how we hooked up. Which is like really cool to me because he had expanded it. MJ's very generous. I'm not just saying that because he's here, but MJ's very generous with his site and everything. Because I was like, dude, put ads on the site, bro. Like, make a little bit of money. He's like, nope, I'm just gonna give it away. I said, just put ads on it or something. Just and so like MJ's such a good dude for this community.
Thank you.
That. Like he literally gives everything away, and then like his mindset is I'll give it away if people want to donate, they'll donate. If they don't, they don't. It's not a big deal, and he's doing pretty good with the site. It's staying up and it's staying active because it's the only way it stays active is from the grace of the community.
100%. 100%. So.
Were you doing those horse evaluations before you put the site live?
Yeah, I was doing it in my
also,
Google Data Studio days. I built out Google Data Studio full dashboard. I think it was 300 races for someone that like won some competition.
Because you were the first person. When I saw you were doing that, I was like, okay, this guy understands data way better than me. And I remember being like, oh shit, I'm in trouble now. Like, we're getting people that really understand data. And I always knew Zed is just like out and out a data game. And I remember thinking like, uh-oh, like the big dogs are coming. They're going to come and fleece me of all my money now. And
Not at all.
You made your website free and public, and so, thanks.
No problem. Thank you for being there since a long time ago.
It feels like years now, right?
Oh God, it does. I think I started Streaming in July? June, maybe?
Well, this is episode 20, and there's 4 weeks in a month, and we do one show a week, and so that's 5 months. You take 5 months away from November, second week in November.
June.
That's what?
Early June? July?
Yeah. And so you've been streaming maybe, I want to say 2 weeks before we started streaming?
Yeah. God, it feels like years.
Where did it go?
In a good way, in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a fair few like highs and lows during that period, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I saw Doofy comment in the Discord earlier. Like, obviously, everyone's having a meltdown. Like, this isn't good enough. And Doofy was just like, you guys forget we've been around the block long enough to not really be too bothered anymore. It's just like, yep, we know it'll happen again, but hopefully, eventually, they'll get there. Like, we're all here to see the game succeed. End of the day.
Yeah.
So
like, I remember racing went down one time, and Doofy had to go. Like, he went live and was like, "It's gonna be all right." And then racing came back. He was playing Fortnite, bro, and he was like, "It's gonna be all right." And he was like, "Racing's already back, bro. I'm going back to playing Fortnite. Stop hitting my DMs." It was hilarious because he was playing Fortnite with a bunch of his friends or something.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
my only question. This is a shameless plug for a tournament that I started with the help of Lucky Jack, Zed Retro, my partner MJ Stables, and the entirety of the Pony Plug, and a couple other people like Heroin who's in there. Are you going to jump in the Digital Breeders' Cup?
Yeah, sign me up.
All right, and what do you think you're going to run?
That's a good question. It'll probably be something maybe from the other stable. Maybe.
Well, it's separated in the bloods, it's bloodline and blood type. So, you can separate, you run like a Butte Legendary, Butte Exclusive, Zabo Legendary, Zabo Exclusive, or,
I like that, because that's what Zed need to do, I think, for their tournaments. I think that's like, by far the best tournament format.
But then there's also elite and down. Every bloodline can run against each other, whether it's elite, cross, or pacer. But the legendary is exclusive. There's 9 separate tournaments, and then the winners face each other.
I've seen you speak about that a fair bit. Yeah, I'll definitely be jumping in. Might not win it. I'm not going to be a Dan Shannon, be all cocky, and then probably not do very well. But yeah, I'll take part, man, 100%.
All right. But I was just saying what you had planned. MJ, what are your plans? Are you jumping in as well?
Oh, I'll be jumping in. Of course, I'll be jumping in. What are my plans? I don't know yet. I'm scheming in the background right now.
All right. I think I'm probably gonna buy a Finney exclusive and a Buterin exclusive token. That's probably the route I'm going.
I think exclusive is going to be the route I go as well.
Yeah. It would likely be an exclusive Naka, maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe. Z4 or Z6.
Okay.
Oh, that's dangerous. That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. I hope there's a lot of...
I hope so.
I think Bot Lady is the NAC exclusive holder, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember who bought right now, I also told everybody, don't buy a token and don't even think about breeding. Like, if you're breeding today, it's kind of stupid. Wait until the breeding announcement that Zed makes.
Yeah.
Which should be sometime this week.
Yeah. Otherwise, you might be overpaying
quite a bit. Yes. Because the prices are going to come down. They said the prices are going to come. They hinted or alluded that the prices are going to come down.
Yeah.
And
they need. What do you think that they're going to implement to bring the prices down? What do you guys think?
Tie it to USD, just like racing. That's what I think. I can't say for a fact that's what they're going to do, but because Ethereum is volatile. Like, Ethereum could drop to $2,000 tomorrow, or it could drop to like $1,800 tomorrow. I don't think it will, but it can. And so they have, they have to tie it to USD or even a Australian dollars. I don't care. They got to tie it to something that's going to be stable, so it doesn't go up in price or too far down in price. Because if Ethereum dropped to like 500, don't think it will. But if Ethereum dropped to $500, breeding prices would be like fucking $60 for a Z1 Nakamoto, and they get.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, you know what I mean though. So they can't. I think they should stabilize the platform by tying it to USD or Australian dollars or British pounds. I learned the system if I got to.
Yeah. I feel like it's another excuse to go over there to really, engage and like get to know the financial system over there, just to improve Zed.
Quids, crowns, and quids, crowns, and pounds.
Pounds, yeah.
Okay, definitely got
it. But yeah, there's a lot of slang. But yeah, I think they've got to tie it to USD, right?
Hope so.
You'd think.
You would think.
I can't think of a viable alternative that'd actually work. It's gotta be. It's gotta be that.
Yeah.
I just hope they do it sooner rather than later, because I've got quite a lot of horses I want to breed.
Yes.
Hopefully soon.
Have you guys been breeding?
A bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually only have $1.36 on my Zed account at the moment because I bred and I should have waited and made a little bit more money than I should have.
Sometimes it's just too tempting, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's addicting.
Yes.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's really addicting.
Well, Lucky Jack, if you're still in the chat, you don't help the situation with the dividends and the
I know.
Because I've been trying to get Lucky Jack horse forever.
Yeah. Every week I'm like, I want to beat this guy, and then no.
I never do.
Although I did nearly get him in stable drills. Nearly got him.
Oh.
I watched that. That's when he beat you and somebody else at the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was me and Joe from Zombie Boy.
Yeah.
Zombie Racing. Yeah.
Oh,
he came back. He came back strong.
Are you participating in the Ryder Cup?
I don't know, to be honest. If it's already planned, no. But it's something. I've heard it. I was talking to Joe about it a couple of weeks ago. If the offer's there, yeah, I'd definitely do the Ryder Cup.
Well, once the stream is over, we're enemies because I'm with Team USA. I'm just saying.
I'd expect nothing less. I mean,
No,
Lucky Jack won it for you guys when it was me and Joe against LJ. So I feel like we've got to do Europe proud and try and get some wins. Yeah,
well, they're doing it's supposed to be the Ryder Cup. They're doing it like Australian, UK versus USA, and I think that's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough for the UK. I know that.
You get Australia, but you get Australia to go with the UK. So
we grouping with. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
But isn't that how the Ryder Cup is in golf?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it's
I'm down with that.
All like the British colonies or something against the USA.
I'm down with that.
So, yeah, I know it's still in the planning phases, from my understanding.
Yeah. I've heard Joe speaking about it, but who's doing it? Who's organising it?
From what I think it's Jamoish.
Okay.
Started the organization. I think he's running the UK side, UK Australian side. So
nice.
And Lucky Jack's on the US side. So,
but I'm happy to group up with the Australians. They've got some insane stables, literally insane.
All right, so Ryan Temple says we call it Commonwealth. Sounds less like Britain trying to take over the world. Well, I'll send some more information, Drew Spar. I would just say follow the Digital Breeders' Cup on Twitter. and all the information. It's only tweeted twice, and all the information is on like the tweets. And MJ, do you have any more questions for Bob?
No, I'm all good, Bob. This has been awesome, man. Thanks for coming on. This has been
Great.
a good time.
Yeah, it's been fun. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Let's do it again.
And thank
Yeah.
you. And sorry to the stream that I couldn't get Doofy on. I didn't hear anything back from in the meantime, so maybe we'll get him on next week or so. And so thanks everyone for showing up, and we'll see you next week with episode 21.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.